Hi everybody, it's Flat Cap Cafe Racer. As I'm shooting this is a couple days before we leave to go to Bonneville. And I thought I'd comment on one of my videos that apparently or seemingly has become a hot potato to the military. Stand by. Meerkat. I guess the term hot potato may be a little strange to some of you, maybe it's not. A hot potato, I guess the definition of it is a situation or subject that people strongly disagree about and no one wants to deal with. And that's what's happened to one of my videos. I shot a walking around video here in the shop here, and it was a story about my incident happened in the military about 40 years ago. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff I got loaded already in the trailer too. Well, I didn't think anything about it, and then I thought, well, maybe I ought to ask the military if they had any problem with this. So being a good person I am, I took it down to my local military base. Here's about 60 miles away, and I asked them to look at it, and they said sure. I talked to them around the table as an NCO and an officer, and I left them the video. Then they had it for about a week, and they said, well, we don't think there's anything wrong with it, and we can't tell you not to publish it, but we'd like to get a second opinion. And when they said they can't tell me not to publish it, well, what they really mean is, because I was in the military and I'm now a civilian, no, they can't tell me not to publish it. But what they can do is call me back into the military and charge me with something and throw me behind bars. I don't want that. So I said, well, what are you going to do? Well, we're going to send it to the base that where this incident happened is, get their opinion on it. I said, okay. So they sent it to the Whiteman Air Force Base. Whiteman Air Force Base looked at it for about a week, and they had their history person look at it to see if they found it in their history. Of course, they didn't. And I knew they wouldn't because nobody reported it. And then they had their subject matter expert on classifications look at it, and they said, well, we don't really see anything, but why don't we send it to a base that had the same kind of weapon system, about the same kind of weapon system as you had when you were here at Whiteman. We'll send it to Malmstrom Air Force Base. So now I'm thinking, well, this thing has become a hot potato because nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to go on record to prove it because they're scared of what will happen if they do. They don't want to be the one to cover it up because nobody wants to be in charge of that either. So they send it to Malmstrom. Well, Malmstrom has it about a week, and they said, well, we're not really sure about this either. So we're going to send it to our 20th Air Force headquarters, which is located in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We're going to let the headquarters determine whether this is. Well, in the meantime, Whiteman Air Force Base sent me something that says, hey, you need to send this to the Department of the Defense. It's called the DoD Office for Publication Review and Security. That's what it's called. So I contact them. They let me know how to send it to them, and I send it to them. So they have it for about a week or so at this point in time. And at this time, what they've done is they looked at it, they gave it a case number. And I know it's getting official because it's got a case number on it. So they forwarded on to another office within the DoD. There's an action officer supposed to be looking at it. So I don't know if you're ever going to see this video. I can share it publicly or not. It's something that I think is kind of an interesting story. It's nothing to do with motorcycles whatsoever. So, and it is quite long and lengthy, but I made it quite long and lengthy for a reason, is because I don't want people, if you watch it and you just do a portion of it, you may get the wrong idea of what I'm trying to present. And some people may get the wrong idea of what I'm trying to present anyway. You may get the wrong impression. So I made it a little longer so I could explain the details that went into it. Speaking of details that going into it, this is my van I got set up. Got my fan in here to cool me off on when I'm getting picked up. Got my leathers in here and my helmet, all my gear that I'm taking with me to the salt. So we should be doing a video on that. But in the meantime, if the video is approved, I'm going to release the one that that's a hot potato. I'm going to release it. You may want to watch it because I don't think it's a story that you've heard before. I doubt seriously that you've heard, and it's kind of interesting. So that's just my take. This is a Flat Cap Cafe Racer out for today. Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.